Good evening and welcome to the UKBBL for this stream of the Season 57 Grand Final. My name's LittleWing. I'm going to be hosting tonight. I'm hosting solo, so be patient in chat, but also get your comments, observations, or even predictions into the chat. That would be great. And we are here after another great season at the UKBBL. 132 main league teams, 728 matches, and this is the big one. The grand final between Fantus, Preston Dead End, his Shambling Undead team, and Archangel's Old Boys, his Orc team. So let's get into it and have a look at the team slide. Pretty deep bench for Archangel tonight, 15 players. Good bench for Fantus, for Shambling Undead, 13 players, not bad. I don't see attrition being an issue, but certainly not for the Orcs. In fact, let's go and have a look. Let's go old school and have a look at the actual teams in game. So this is the allotted home team for the final. You'll see here a couple of really nice mummies with plus movement. A crocked but very effective white blitzer here. Very effective. Another white blitzer. A host of linos, but this is the guy. Werner Warmblood. If Fantus can keep this guy on the pitch, especially for his possessions, he's going to be a very, very difficult player to take down. He's been very effective, and you can just see level 7, 18 SPP, really important player for Fantus. He's got a dedicated fouler. The two teams are fairly level on TV. I think there's 5k between them, so I'm not sure how much either coach is going to lean into the fouling game. Sort of semi-developed sort of sack ghoul runner here. And then a naked one here. So not a bad team. I mean, you can always be picky. You can always want more. But as far as things go with the way that the redraft and TV levels work at UKBBL, this is a pretty nice undead team. And we will go to Archangel's Old Boys. Probably of this iteration of Blood Bowl, probably the sort of most successful franchise of UKBBL. A really deep bench, which I think is going to be important. Could mean that he maybe leans into the fouling game a little bit more. We'll see. I think what's really impressive about this team is the big and core. I mean, 3 out of 4 are 11 AV. Poor old Snow Slayer here didn't quite get the armor boost. But this is, I think, having played against Orcs in this version of the game, I know the blitzers are the sort of the backs in rugby, if you like, the sort of star boys. But it's the big and core that really is the heart of the team, and I don't think you could wish for better of what Archangel's got here. Again, the blitzer core, pretty standard for 3 out of 4, but then of course we have the star, Queen Mathimus, franchise player, and a little bit like Fantasy's Ghoul, I think, if she can stay on the pitch. 45 SPP over level 7, but if she can stay on the pitch, she's going to cause problems both with and without the ball. So those are the teams. And we are just waiting now for the players. If you've got any observations about those teams, let me know. As I said, I'm doing the stream solo tonight, so and it's my first interaction with running OBS as well. So, as I said, be patient, be kind. Yeah, Zenjo. Hey Zenjo, hey Mathimus, how we doing? Yeah, there is a, obviously with the new redraft system. It's going into the second season now, and I don't know about anybody else, but this redraft hurt a little bit more going into season 58. So whether Queen Mathemus makes the cut, I'm not so sure next season. We'll see. I'm sure that the other teams in Prem West won't shed a tear if she doesn't appear next season. Yep. Hey Waldorf, how you doing? Yep. Last final with I think Fantus is only taking 3, but yep, with the 4. And even with the first year of redraft with the 10k, I think to try and get even 3 developed ghouls in is difficult. I have to say I know that there's some discussion with the new season edition of the redraft going to 20k. I don't want to open a can of worms, but yeah, I really like the 10k increment. Right, I've just heard that the teams are on the pitch, so let's... Okay, not quite. There's obviously waiting for some connection issues here. But yeah, I really like the 10k incrementation. But of course, we've got all sorts of different other factors, elite skills and everything for next season. So, as usual, I can guarantee that the commissioners get it right here. And here we go.
Welcome back,
so here it is, the final, season 57. As I said, 728 matches to get to this point. There's only 5k between the teams. So we'll get straight into it. And the toss is won by Fantus. Yeah, I think I would be inclined to receive as well. Remember, it's overtime tonight, and I think that's the main factor with these games that can go to overtime. To be on the defence for the second half, I think gives you that slight boost of being able to manage your re-rolls a little bit better for overtime. And certainly in all the knockout games that we've covered, both in the FA Cup and in the main league, that's always been a huge factor. So Waldorf's plomping for the Undead. I have to say, I didn't really spend a lot of time on predictions. I have to say I've had a good feeling about Fantus all season. In the All Access show that we did, I picked him to have a really good season this season. I just felt that the team was developing to sort of its best possible place in the rule set. Although it takes either a brave or a stupid man to bet against Archangel, these orcs have been supreme over the last 5 or 6 seasons. But yeah, if I'm going to nail my colours to the wall, I think slightly favour Fantus for this, no more than a gut feeling. Well, I was actually talking about myself, Waldorf, but thank you for the support. Okay. So we've got Knuckle Dusters up. And that has gone on the Wrestle Zombie.
I should probably say something meaningful to all our Cabal Vision viewers. All I can think of is splat.
Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, dear.
Necromancy. Great to look at, but scary.
So that Curse of the Commentator, that famed big and core that I was talking about with the Armor 11s, has not saved it there. That's big. That's big. Yeah, yeah, the Apo's interesting, isn't it? Because it's a death, but I think those strength 4 big uns are so important, not just to orcs, but also to the control that you have in the game. I mean, you've got to try and roll out of the death with the Apo, haven't you, as well? It's an interesting call to make. That's a really good point, Mathemus, actually. Yeah, it prevents the Fantas's bench going to 14. I was briefly talking to Archangel before the game. The Prem West season match before this, and I forgot to say we've got a definite Prem West winner this season.
Yes, they picked up the ball.
Which for those Westies amongst you is big. If you're an Eastie out there, don't worry about it, you've had loads of success. And if you're like me and you've bounced between East and West more times than you care to remember, I guess it doesn't really make much difference. Now the foul. Double, but a sneaky get cover. So Archangel was saying that there was a pretty brutal match in Prem West between these guys during the regular season. Hey Mark, good evening, how you doing? You have missed a injured Biggin. Turn 1 for Archangel, which could prove to be important in the game. And important, really. I mean, I think the thing that you notice about, I've had the privilege to cover sort of FA Cup finals, semi-finals and finals of the UKBBL competitions over the last couple of seasons, and I think what you really realise is that these big incidents, these injuries early in the game, they can also affect the way the coach thinks, knock them off stride a little bit. So I think what Archangel needs here is just to keep to the game plan, really. Mark, I'm sensing maybe you had a tough game against Fantus in Prem West this season. It's not very charitable take. I played these guys. I played the Preston Dead End 2 seasons ago in Prem West. Really difficult team to play against, and since that, those mummies have just got better. So I understand the sentiment. Yeah, targeting that AV8 white. Oh, and we have a death in reverse. Now, will regen come to the rescue? It will not. It will not. Well, Crack was probably living on borrowed time with that AV8 plus. But that is significant too. So interesting first turns.
He is not moving. That player's a little short. Oh no, my mistake. He's on the ground.
Yeah, Waldorf, I would agree with that. If one player doesn't make a team, but Queen Mathimus and the Super Ghoul for Fantus are so good that if one of them is taken out, it gives a huge advantage to the other coach. It's interesting. What does Fantus do here? Because
You wearing perfume, Jim?
there's already quite a little bit of engagement.
Scent. Very different from perfume, Bob. You like it? It's called Rotting Cadaver by Tommy Hilfiger.
And I just whether he's thinking about what to do here. Do we make an early break, or do we try and manage the clock?
A good coach always uses the right player for the right job.
Now it's free as a fork in a thunderstorm.
Yeah, I think the time is. I know that this has got the potential to go to overtime, but I think taking the time here is worth it. I know it's only turn 2, but it's it seems like already this is an important turn in terms of how the rest of the match plays out.
There's only one word to say about this ball.
So the TVs, Mark, were I think 1740 and 1745, so quite high, but no inducements between them. It allowed Fantus to go in with 13 players and Archangel to bring 15 players in. So, I mean, if the attrition is equal, you would sense that would. It depends which players, of course, but it would favour Archangel if there was a constant attrition.
Is the assist going to be enough to come out on top?
That's a strike made with technique and precision. Sheer muscle.
So he got that player down. He was hoping that the mummy could do that and put the foul in. It's an interesting position here. Let's hang on. Excuse me, whilst I just... Yeah, their game was pretty brutal and in favour of Fantus during the season, Mark. And I think I'm presuming that made Archangel focus on a bench rather than inducements. It's not the most secure position here from Fantus, and because the ghouls are on the deep on the left wing, it doesn't even yeah, he's going to have to spend some time getting repositioned here because there isn't a natural breakaway to the right in this area here. Yeah, exactly. Sorry, Mathmas, for that. Yeah. Should have done a bigger warning there before I repositioned the pitch. And again, Archangel going into his time bank this turn as well. This could be significant later on.
Always uses the right player for the right job. Oh dear. I hope that player has written a will, Bob.
We've got an armor break here, and we've got a KO. And that's a tackle piece up against that. I mean, the net's closing in a little bit here on Fantus. There's cheeky one die block there and another KO. This has been a significant turn, I feel.
Really, don't let them. They're massive and can take your hand right off.
And again, these two ghouls here are not in optimal position.
Unity is strength.
Yeah, Mathmas, you called it during the turn. Last turn. About the ball being an afterthought. Oof. Oh. Okay.
Just getting born.
Well, well, well.
Come on, guys, together.
Well, expecting the turnover here.
Nothing baked in a pie stands more chance than this. Where's the nearest pie shop, Jim?
I'm not. I wouldn't say an odd decision, but an interesting decision not to re-roll that there. I mean, and an interesting decision to go that way with the ghoul as well, rather than... I'd have been... I mean, I know that this is a frenzy big un, but I'd have been tempted to tuck it into this square here.
That player's a little short. Oh no, my mistake. He's on the ground.
Another armor break and another knockout.
Devil's kiss.
He won't leave him alone anytime soon.
Well, this is looking ominous now for the undead. I think this would take... And he's got the ball carrier
See the play
down
like it
now.
is. Why not just squash him next time?
And an armor break, and... Okay, just a stun. Which is probably... I mean, it's a good thing, but given this position here,
Now it's just
it is a small mercy.
putting the ball at their feet. It's never simple.
Yeah, it is snowballing here, and the worst thing for Fantus is that if Queen Mathimus can get on that ball, get that ball in hand, the Orcs are already advanced and holding the centre of the pitch as well. You need a good pop out here. I think you've got to re-roll that.
I'll be blunt.
And
Then what are you
a double
doing?
fail.
Going for the ball, but can they pick it up?
Yeah, Archangel taking his time to think about this. He's accepted the wrestle.
A loose ball is a dangerous ball. Now his body can move freely. The player's taking the ball.
Yeah, I think if he can clear this mummy here,
Oh, look at that little snotling attacking the
which he
troll.
can't. I'm still wondering whether it's worth the dodge out to put the boot in here, because this super ghoul is so important.
The other players stood
Yeah.
there like statues with such easy prey.
And
Done myself.
okay, just a stun. And a sending off.
This player likes to be well assisted in a fight.
Yeah, I think Fantus will probably be sitting thinking that the dice have not... It's not all about dice, but the dice have not been kind so far.
Get up.
Or certainly that Archangel has had the better of the dice. I know there's maybe a question mark about the positioning in turn 2, but
Can't argue with that call, can you, Bob?
yeah, just that there. I mean, I think Archangel has had a couple of 1-dies that have come up as either pals or defender down. Yeah, and of course the quad. Yeah, the quad was... Thank you for that, Mathemus, actually, because the quad was... I'd forgotten about the quad. And that was the most significant roll of all. I think he's had a couple of 1Ds. But I could be wrong. Exactly, Waldorf.
What's that player doing?
I look to be rolling on the ground in agony, Joe.
So Archangel here choosing to mark out the downed ghouls rather than put a cage around Queen Mathemus. Yeah, I'm not... yeah, exactly. I don't think that it was a bad tactic to go for the brawl. Just looking at what's in chat. I mean, Waldorf's right. What else do Undead have? I just think the dice haven't been particularly kind, and maybe if you...
A good coach
Oh,
always
okay.
chooses the right
I
player.
mean, again, that's Blood Bowl, isn't it? And both players can point in the stats that they've had quads in the first half, but the quad for Fantus was significantly more important. Yeah, I don't. Getting back to that, I don't think it was necessarily a bad choice to go for the brawl. I think maybe Fantus might look back and feel that he maybe overcommitted to it a little too much, or wasn't thinking ball safety first. He got himself into an odd position with 2 ghouls sort of deep and left, no real protection on the right.
That's an invasion of personal space.
But then he has had success in beating Archangel's team up in the past, and sometimes, you know, memory and instinct
He is not moving.
can override what's in front of you. Yeah, it's just not happening for the Undead in this half. Villains you love to hate, Zenjo. I would agree with you. Yeah, Mathemus, I think you're right. It's just what else does Fantus do? You know, you've got the mummies and the zombies. It's not like they're, although he's got sort of highly mobile players, the bulk of the team needs to be slow moving and therefore needs to brawl. I think if Archangel wants to take this all the way to turn 8, he needs to find a way now to get Queen Mathemus in a cage of sorts. But that Super Ghoul is very tempting. I mean, it's advantage Orcs at the moment, but if he can get a Mighty Blow hit on this guy and an armor break, it's... You know, it's never, of course, game over this early, but it would be significant.
That is as slippery as an eel, but not quite as cuddly. What's that player doing?
He's covered that pretty well. I mean, there, if he can get into...
I should probably say something meaningful to all our Cabal Vision viewers. All I can think of is splat.
They're not moving an inch. They're a wall.
Well, I always had a soft spot for the Joker Bushranger, but that probably says more about me than what the character's meant to be. So there is a shot here. You know, an AG2 plus can get into there. Just need to... Oh, he's going to go for an up pillar. Okay, well there we go. That's the other way of doing it. And he's got it. Wow. That was a ballsy play. It came off. And I think you could say actually that Fantus probably, on the balance of things, deserved a bit of luck there. It's not the most ideal place for the ball to... Yeah, stand firm. It's such an underrated skill. I mean, everybody knows it's good, of course, but it's... if you are a bash team and you have a lot of stand firm, you can obviously really control the pitch. Yeah, that was good play there from Fantus. You know, I think it's interesting now because even if Super Ghoul gets hit and goes down, I'm presuming that Fantus will plonk him with the sidestep in the corner and hope for the ball to bounce out. It's only 2 turns now for Archangel. A ballsy play. You know, probably deserved the luck, as I said, and he may get out of this without conceding a turnover touchdown, which, given the removals, given the sort of dice, I think he would take as a huge bonus to the match situation. Hey Tector, how you doing? You've tuned in to see who supersedes you as UKBBL champion. Oh, and while you're here, Tector, congratulations on reaching is it the last 16 of the World Cup? Sterling effort, sir. Yep, last 16. Yeah, well played. I was watching who your opponent was going to be. I didn't finish the stream actually, so I'm not sure who you've got up. But that's a great effort. Well done. Flying the flag for the UKBBL. Ooh, okay. We've got a disconnection here. Okay, so Archangel has got a frozen screen. He is just reconnecting, and hopefully that will sort that problem out. He actually, just to sort of let you in what's going on in the chat in there, he didn't see the Ghoul pick that up because the screen froze after the hit on Queen Mathmas. Okay, we're back, no problems. Another mighty blow hits in the Super Ghoul. He has put him in the corner. So Fantus will be keeping his fingers crossed for a 5 in 8 that it bounces out. Oh. Oh dear. Well. I think Nuffle woke up for a turn to put himself in Fantus's corner and then went straight back to sleep.
That's a good choice for a display.
Yeah, the Ghoul, so far, I mean, Fantas's team, as you can see, they've come off worse in the brawling game, but the Ghouls have brought skink armor with them. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else Fantus can do except just get the hell out of dodge now. Nice knockout there.
They've got the advantage, but there is no sure thing in luck. Another player on the ground. The coach will be spitting teeth about this.
Now, I think most would expect Archangel just to stroll into the end zone here, but I think knowing him, he will be looking to see if he can get a big hit on a significant player. He's got a re-roll in the bank. This is a defensive touchdown, which is big, but I think he'll back himself to score on his turn. So instinct tells you that you're probably just waiting for him to roll the ball in, but I think don't think he can get a 3 die. Yes, he can. He can get a 3 die. Okay. He's chosen not to.
Now that's a real mess.
Yeah. Yeah.
On the floor again. This team
Yeah, was a little greedy, but it worked out. Okay, so 1-0 to the Orcs, and only one returning KO. That's big. So Fantus is going to start with 10 players. I mean, there's zombies, but they're pieces. It's the wrestle guys. Yeah, the dice are just not going for Fantus in this one at the moment. And Archangel comes in with a 15-man team with deeper bench, so he's going to start with 11. So it's going to be interesting to see how Fantus approaches this. I mean, he's got to go for it, hasn't he? He's got to try and get that ball. And I wonder if might we see an Orc Daka? Texter, there were no inducements. There were 5k between the teams at the start. Yeah, it's interesting point, Mark, about whether you put the mummies on the front. I mean, it's two choices, isn't it? You're hoping that the AV10 holds up against the Mighty Blow. I mean, they've both got niggles. As opposed to, I mean, because if Archangel's bringing Mighty Blow to these first 3 hits, and I'm guessing you're backing the 10 plus versus the 9 plus, because if you're in Fantas's position and you lose 1 or even 2 of those zombies, you are in, you know, it's significantly more difficult if you're trying to play with 8. So I get why the mummies are on the front, but I also get why some coaches would choose to put the zombie fodder up there. But this is a winner-takes-all game, you know, so it forces you to make... We got moles. And who got moles there? Well, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Not a time to keep your mummies safe. You need to use them to tie up as many orcs as you can.
Decisive.
He's on him now. Halfling on a hot dinner.
And takes the push. Yep. Now, thoughts in chat, guys. What do we think here? If you're Archangel, are you pushing for a quick second score? Or are you looking to eat a few turns first? Quick score from Mark. Quickish score from Mathmas.
That thing's about to get punched above and below the belt. At the same time.
Tector and Zenjo coming down on keep it conservative.
Oh no, my mistake. He's on the ground.
Yep.
You know,
I think a slow conservative push down the field.
got rid of the whole ball thing and got straight to the
Eat time.
That would be blood.
Don't push it too much.
The bone. It's just war. You can see that anytime it bites.
Dad? Let go.
This is going to be decisive.
On the other hand, Fantus really needs to make things happen here.
That's disappointing. They're both still standing.
I think I'd be tempted to try and get at that ball as early as possible, if only just to squeeze Archangel up the pitch. Ooh. Okay. And of course it doesn't come back. Well, this is getting tougher and tougher for Fantus now. He's going to have to really go some to start digging himself out of the hole that's been presented to him here. Yeah.
Oh dear. I hope that player has written a will
Yeah, this is the thing. I mean, if it keeps going like this, Waldorf, you're right. There is no incentive. Oh, okay, just a stun on the second mummy, but there is no incentive for Archangel to progress the ball at all because there's no threat really from Fantus, and it's going to take what you would presume would be if Archangel can get his positioning right and get enough guard around the ball, a ghoul, you know, a 5+ dodge in, maybe a 6+ dodge in, uphill block. You're getting to that territory now. This is looking very strong position for the Orcs.
That's a good choice for
Jeremiah always said, superior skill.
I mean, given the way that the ghouls have held up to the mighty blow, I mean, we're talking about what should have gone on the LOS. Maybe you should have put the 3 ghouls up there. They've been Titanic might not be the best. That thing sunk, but they've been strong as hell tonight.
that'll help the player move without risk. Now as free as a fart in a thunderstorm.
Needs some removals here, but it's very difficult. These AV11 players.
Now as free as a fart in a thunderstorm. Come on, guys, together.
So nice 1D, cheeky 1D.
They're almost competent.
A cheeky 1D with a knockout. Lovely. One last zombie. I'd be tempted to put the boot in. I think you're heading for a loss. You've got to try and make things happen here. I mean, again, these are 2 incredibly good players. Fantus is a great coach. Who am I to question? But I just get the sense that you got to start taking risks here.
Too easy.
So I presume with blitzing with that big un, Archangel has decided to... KO right back at you has decided to hold position, not push forward. Just tie up and engage. Yeah, Mark asking, has Fantus got a plan B? I mean, what would the plan B be? You're 2 players down. Your most effective white and your mummy is out. You're getting perilously close to having to get your ghouls in the mix with a load of Mighty Blow orcs. At some point, I guess, maybe next season, starts becoming relevant. How much do you want to risk? And of course, Archangel's just very content just to hunker down in the middle. Yeah, both coaches have quad skulled, but Fantus's quad skull was particularly significant. It opened up his ball carrier to get hit and the turnover to happen. Archangel's quad skull came towards the end of a turn on an action that wasn't really, you know, it was the last action of the turn, not significant at all.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Count those teeth, Jim. I'll let them pick up most of them off the ground in a few seconds' time. I call that a time. Hey, that was almost competent.
Yeah, Fantus just cannot. He cannot roll those yellow dice, can he? And now a nice obvious channel for Archangel to move out of to the left, just to put a little bit of distance between him and his end zone. Or is he just going to keep engaging?
Baked in a pie stands more chance than this poor kid. Actually, I'm getting hungry. Where's the nearest pie shop, Jim?
Push back. Not over.
And this is the issue. This is where it gets really, it's tricky, isn't it, for Fantus, because those ghouls are so exposed now.
Are they dancing or fighting?
Push the stronger player back. That'll do. This formation gives them a safe progression. It's going to be hard to make them lose the ball.
Well, I think this is probably the best shot that Fantus is going to get on the ball. I mean, obviously you've got a naked liner here as the ball carrier. You can mark up these two, and you can get a one die in here with Super Ghoul.
Do you think there's going to be any action?
But he chooses not to.
I'd like to see something happen.
I think that might have been the turn to go for the ball there.
Slapping it over with. Dead fish. Put some force behind those punches.
How are they going to catch all
Okay, he's seen another way in.
constantly writhing around on the ground? Fair fights can be so overrated. There's always room in sport for a scrap like this. They're still standing.
Yeah, that's the...
They're not moving an inch. They're a wall. Count those teeth, Jim. They'll have to pick up most of them off the ground in a few seconds' time.
That covers it, doesn't it? The way in he was looking at. But I really feel that left side of the cage was very... You know, with this guy as well, with this Ghoul, I mean, it's not a given that you're going to get in there.
Hey, that play looked almost competent.
This player likes to be well assisted in a fight.
But what is it, 5+ with dodge?
And he's still standing.
Not sure you're going to get another shot like that. Oh, and the leap, of course, yeah. Leap. Thank you, Tector.
That'll help the player move without
So I'm expecting Archangel to tidy this up and to try and get some guard around this ball. It was an interesting... Send this blitzer up.
They just got owned.
Because although you're progressing, it's... I think that moment's passed now. He can get guard on the corners of this cage and... Yeah. Yeah, you're uphilling now. I think there was a missed opportunity, but the thing to say about this is it's a big game. It hasn't gone Fantasy's way. Your head can start to get a little bit muddled about your thinking. And you can miss things. But I think if Fantus re-watches that, he's going to look at turn 2 and turn 12 as being significant turns that he may have felt like, in retrospect and hindsight is always 2020, that he could have done better.
choice on this play.
But let's be really clear, he's been up against it since the off. The dice, the removals, they have not been in his favour.
They push them back. Personally, I'd object them. That'll help the player move without risk.
So I'm sitting here internally willing Fantus to be a bit more aggressive, but I guess if they're not your pixels, it's a lot easier to feel that way.
Right, Jim, but there's something else.
But I get the sense it's. I'm not sure what the game plan is here, if I'm honest. I don't know. You've got 3 turns to get the ball out and get down the pitch. So I think you're going to see a blitz from this guy coming in order to maintain that cage with the guards on the corner. Okay, he's gone that way.
You can't argue with that call, can you, Bob?
No. The court won't love it, of course, but they've wisely decided not to.
Yep. Yep. And then maybe block this channel off here. Okay, spaced up. That Dauntless Lino is lovely, isn't it?
They just got owned.
Armor 11, Dauntless Wrestle. Nice piece.
How are they going to catch them? They're constantly writhing around on the ground.
Well, it really is now or never.
Fair fights can be so overrated. There's always room in sport for a scrap like this.
In on him now, like a halfling on a hobgoblin.
One of these ghouls has got to come down the picture unless he is...
Oh, too easy.
Yeah, wow. Not really sure. Archangel will take his time here. Just make sure that whatever moves he decides to make, he's got that ball secure. I mean, it is highly unlikely now that Fantus can draw this up, but this is Blood Bowl. Strange things do happen. Okay. Two 0 right.
They're missing one of their key players.
Yeah.
Smell weakness.
I think that was the only safe place looking at it. Well, it looks very much like Archangel is going to recapture his title, and that the old boys are going to be back on top of the UKBBL. I'm always a little reluctant to call it, because we've all seen some crazy things in this game. But I think it's going to take a unique set of circumstances now. Yeah, you need a timeout, blitz. You need the full works from Nuffle, and although it hasn't been outrageous dice, Nuffle has not exactly been alive and awake during Fantus's turns in this half, so it would require a huge turnaround.
I'll eat that ball if the losers win on the time up.
Can't argue with that call, can you, Bob?
No.
This is going to be decisive. An interesting technique. I'm sure a perfectly good punch will service just as well.
Hey, that play looked almost competent.
That's it. Pick up the ball. And it's more difficult than it seems.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, Archangel. Commiserations, Fantus. It's been an intriguing final. But I think you definitely look back on the game and I think it's fair to say that Archangel probably had a more solid game, didn't leave too many openings, but the dice were significant.
Looks like the players are
But when your name goes in the Hall of Fame, you don't care how you got there, do you? You just want it up there.
unity is strength.
Now free as a fart in a thunderstorm. Knock out.
Yes, they picked up the
And there we go, guys.
The winning team
Yeah, West is best. Now I'm hoping that Archangel will join us afterwards, and hopefully Fantus, and we can have a little chat about what they thought about them. Let me just contact them.
Hello.
Hello, Archangel. How are you feeling after that?
Well, it's hard to complain when your dice are golden, right?
Yeah, we did get that sense. I don't know whether they were. I don't know whether the dicing was outrageous or whether it was just pretty solid for you and just nothing for Fantus.
I was a little bit concerned right after the first dice roll when he made a kill, but other than that, I think the dice was pretty much in my corner for the rest of the match.
Yeah. And how we were discussing in chat how you approach the second half when you're 1-0 up with a defense.
I'm assuming you are unmuted on the stream, LittleWing, but you're not on the call, so I can't hear what you're saying if you're saying anything. Sorry if I'm speaking over you here.
Yeah, there we go. Like I said, guys that are still with us in chat, this was my first stream, so there we go. There was the technical issue I was talking about. Yeah, just how are you feeling about the second half? Because we were discussing about how you approach that. You've already got the defensive touchdown. There's always the old debate about whether you go for a quick score or just try and rumble it down, which is what you did in the end.
I think my plan was to just sit back and to see how aggressive Fantus would play it, and I think I got caught sort of like mid second half in sort of like playing too passive and sort of like basically playing myself a little bit into a corner, which luckily I managed to get out of. But yeah, not the prettiest of halves, I would definitely say.
Yeah, but really, really effective. I know
succeed.
So yeah, we got some echo there. Really, I know the turn that you're talking about. It was where you didn't have your cage guarded, and I was surprised that Fantus didn't see that and go for it. I think chat were too.
Yeah, I think it was. I think for both, you're so much in constraining, trying to manage all the different aspects, right? Like it gets down to the nitty gritty, and you go like afterwards you look at that turn and go like, yeah, that was probably not the best turn in the book, for to say the least. And I at least a few times was like maybe a little bit clutching on the fact that I could just, let's say, sit back and see it unfold and not have to make any big plans happen. And I think that can also backfire, and it almost did here. But I think maybe also because of the, let's call it the end to first half, that Fantus was a little bit more reluctant to go too deep into, let's say, balls with the wall sort of approach.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was a tough first half for him, and that quad skull was really significant for him, where it opened up the ball carrier. But we just thought at the end of the half that his super ghoul had got to Queen Mathimus and got the ball. That was such a significant bounce in the corner, wasn't it? That it came in and didn't just go out. It sort of turned the whole game. That bounced out and it had been 0-0, it would have been, a different match.
Very different game.
Yeah.
Howdy, gentlemen.
Hello, mate. Commiserations.
All right, thank you. Yeah, it was a good game. It's just it's frustrating when the quad skull came. I think you just covered that, hadn't you?
Yeah.
And like I said, the 1D ghoul, I can't really blame the luck, because he should really have, he had a 4+3+, and then he had to get a 5+ for the knockdown. So he was lucky to have got it. So I can't really complain that the way it bounced and the way it fell. So you take it on. You take the rub of the green when it's good, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But I think for me, if I should boil down the differences, like is we both got a quad skull, but let's put it this way: mine did not matter at all, right? Like I get burned a reroll, but that's the cost of that. It was the last action; it doesn't matter. Yours, I think it was like the second action of that turn, and on a key turn, that is just something that happens.
And second off, I think it was a challenge because you can put up a nice cage and sort of just take your time. There's no pressure to score, so I was kind of just having to hope that a couple of lucky blocks might just create something. But I think I got quite a few pushes, which were getting a bit frustrating on them Black Orcs. They're a pain in the butt.
Yeah, they do definitely carry a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, so, you played very well, mate. The dice were definitely not with you in that game. But yeah, it was an interesting thing because it's always easy to sit and watch a game of Blood Bowl. But was there any thoughts in the second half of going a bit more balls to the wall and being aggressive, try and engage the cage at all, Fantus, or was it just wait and see?
Yeah. At first, every time I looked for an opportunity, I was trying to get a few pushes to be able to get me maybe a 1D. But the only realistic way of doing it seemed to get shut down because each time I tried to get a guard a bit close or try and block off a couple of his, I struggled to get to a point where I could get a 1D that's not like a 5+, 6+ dodge through tackle to get it. So it's so difficult when you've got good guard and good tackle on the corners. And obviously, Archie, you're a good player that knows how to defend the ball. So with hindsight, probably should have risked it a bit earlier rather than just hoping that I'd have got a couple of good hits. But at that point, I had to try and make sure I had a way of capturing it. Had I got it free, where it wouldn't have just fell in between a couple more orcs and Mighty Blow and tackle again.
I think also it becomes like a really hard, at least when I'm in a similar situation as you were in there, because it's sort of like if you go too much balls on the wall and risk too much too early, you just submit that it's going to be a 2-0 and then the match is basically over. So you sort of need to have some sort of defense still in place, and yet you still also need to, and that's why like it's a horrible position to be playing in that being one up and having to try to make something happen, and it's just a really tough spot.
I think the mummy injury, the start of the second half as well.
Oh yeah,
that just sort of because with two mummies, I could, there's a good chance you can pin you down. With their stand firm, I thought, oh, maybe they could. But obviously, when he went down, it was kind of a bit like, oof. One of them was off to one side, and he nicely skipped away from him. So it left my options limited.
Yeah. I tried to very deliberately in the second half to sort of split your mummies so that they couldn't support each other. And by being also that one guard down, I felt like I could sort of separate them and then better, let's say, keep them occupied that way. But yeah, just re-looking, this is turn 2 when the murdering happens. Yeah, that's really important turn.
Yeah, we're about to see the significant quad skull. I guess that was when you log in to watch Blood Bowl, you don't want to see dice be the factor, but I think it's pretty obvious to say that this quad skull coming up here was significant.
I think there was some pressure on Fantus before that quad skull, but because the Fantus was already under a little bit of pressure, that quad skull just kills everything. And it means that if Fantus had been in a comfortable position, sometimes the quad skull can be sort of, and that's all. Like it seems very much for me that luck is almost about always timing. So when does the quad skull, like the difference between mine and Fantus, for example, right? But if Fantus had been on a turn where he was sort of in control of the situation, then the quad skull wouldn't have mattered nearly as much. But because it's not optimal situation and it's early in the activation, right? So it just kills all. And not only does it mean that the mummy goes down, but it also exposes the ball carrier. And that's too much, how to say, bad luck in one go. And I think also,
it's challenging to find a safe place to put the ball because your blitzers are, especially your super blitzer, is very mobile. So you can't really stay too far back. But then it's hard to cage up because we stand firm, strength 4 guard. It's very hard to clear your corners. So So you're kind of relying on your mummies to sort of be your pillars. So yeah, that was kind of the hope was, had that mummy cleared that corner, I'd have been able to box up a bit better and defend the ball. But
Oh, definitely.
yeah,
So I think it comes down to, like in ultimate football, it's not just bad dice. It's when the bad dice happens, right?
Yeah. And at this level, that's what you expect. You know, it'd be shocking if there was a one-sided game where one player's, you know, getting the basics wrong. So, and that's it. Isn't it? So it's.
I think we talked about this when we were talking about the playoffs. Like at this level, the difference between players, it like, of course team composition also matters, but it also really comes down to the dice on the day, and
Yeah.
it could easily have swung the other way, right?
Well, we've played each other a few times in the league, haven't we? It often swings one way or the other. And I've had quite a few good games against you where your armour's just turned to paper. So I can't complain on that.
Our matches usually devolves into whose armour breaks first, and I think that's sort of telling of the matchup, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm guessing, Fantus, that your ghouls were pretty sturdy today. They brought some skink armor with them. I'm guessing you look back thinking, I wish the rest of the team brought that type of armor with them.
yeah, absolutely. It's often the way, isn't it? You see your ghouls surviving hit after hit.
Yeah.
Although I'm only keeping one of them, so the other two are obviously going to get booted as part of the redraft.
Well, that's what's next for you guys, and I'm guessing everybody in chat's going to be delighted that you two guys have to redraft as well, because two murdering teams you've got there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think there was a chat the last time around the redraft being too harsh, and I genuinely don't think. I think they're not being harsh enough. Sorry, I do think that the 10k is right per season. I just think we've got such established teams. Applying it retrospectively is really hard, because actually both our teams have had 7 or 8 seasons to build up, and we're not paying 70 or 80 extra k per player. And I think that's the bit that sometimes gets missed in the conversation, because I think the redrafts feels pretty balanced actually.
Yeah, I was making the same point at the top of the show, actually, that I like the 10k increment. I know there's the commissioners will chat about what they want to do with the new edition, but you're starting to feel the pinch this season. You guys are yet to redraft, but I felt the pinch this season.
Yeah, and I think especially for the redraft, I think this is something I've mentioned quite a few times, but I think is really key is, like you said, Fantus, it's like we're just doing a season 2 now, right? Like if we were to start over, which we probably will soon, right? Having to reset, and that means that after first, second, that would be now, like none of the teams would be nearly developed. So even already then, season 2 would feel much more harsh. And once you get to third, fourth, and fifth season, like most of these players on the pitch, like I had a look just for funsies. Some of my players have 80 matches on a lifetime record, right? But that's a fair few seasons to have played. They also been in a fair playoffs, but they should be paying 60, 80 Ks, and that would more or less be the fee for my whole team. Like, half my team, right? But so I definitely think redraft at this level would definitely work. It just needs to be from the beginning, and it will do its magic. So
I think I'll only be able to redraft, I think 5 players from what I was working out. So in some ways, killing my white, I wasn't sure whether to risk redrafting him or not. He's carried that AV bust for a long time. So, you know, obviously working a regen. He was obviously ready to. He knew it was for the chop, so he thought, bugger
it. I think it's called voluntarily exiting the
yeah, absolutely.
But did you actually succeed any regen?
No,
I don't think so. No, and then I think that's one of the things about regen, right? Like there's some matches where it just fixes all your injuries, and there are other matches where it's like, nah, not here for today.
Well, I did think, shall I take a bigger bench? But it's very rare that by the end of I've got 3 injuries, so I thought, I'll risk it with just the 2 bench. With hindsight, probably should have risked, should have gone for a third. Just knowing it can potentially go into that third half, and it's a murder team.
I think it's a balancing act, because if you go, it's always team value issue right at the end of the day, because if you go that high, then you basically allow me to start doing star player stuff, and Undead do not like the bomber at all.
They do not. I think I felt that wrath a few times.
Yeah. Exactly. So.
Okay, guys. Well,
So
listen, thank you very much. That was a really intriguing game to watch. There was lots of interaction on chat, a lot of views.
Great to hear.
So that was brilliant. Commiserations, Fantus, but very well played. Hopefully, we'll see you back in the
thank you.
playoffs soon. Archangel, congratulations! You've recaptured your title. The old boys are back on top. And very well played to you. So we'll see what both teams turn out with like next season. We're gonna shut down soon, but just a few little admin things to cover. The FA Cup is open. I think we have the same amount of sign-ups as last season.
Exactly the same. Currently.
Exactly the same.
Everyone go and sign up now. That hasn't already signed up.
Go and sign up now. And of course, the season starts soon. I think we've got the vast majority of players signed up. I think I saw something earlier. 117 players are signed up out of 132. So if you're watching and you haven't signed up, get signed up, and we can kick off season 58 as soon as possible. And myself and Archangel and Phil will be doing a pre-season all access show next Monday. I think that's right, isn't it?
Knowledge, yes. That's at least the plan. That's what I posted in our Discord. So if it's not correct, then we have a big problem.
Okay, so next Monday for that predictions. I am, of course, some absolutely outrageous self-promotion here. I am the prediction champion for last season. So we'll see whether I can carry that on. And I think that's about it. So thank you very much, guys, for tuning in tonight. Thanks for all the comments in chat. It's been a pleasure. And we will see you again soon. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Cheers, guys.